apresentação, pronto, parece que vou fazer uma pequena apresentação de improviso. Professor José António Vidal and Professor Carlos Vogeler, I want to welcome you on behalf of the Universidade Lusófona.
Estão todas frescas.
Por favor, desliguem os microfones, por favor.
Não.
O Adelino é que tem que...
Eu fiz uma primeira ronda, mas já há pessoas a ligar outra vez. Peço por favor que mantenham o micro em mudo, senão é complicado. Okay, let's give a second start. I want to welcome you on behalf of Universidade Lusófona and ESCAD, and of course in name of the Maria João Wine Tourism Association. It's a pleasure for us to have you here on a very to share your ideas, your knowledge regarding this very hot subject around the world. This is indeed something a subject that grows since the 80s and has become now much more interesting, much more intense. We have, I believe, a lot of people with different interests here. Only people who like wine, some researchers, as me and Mafalda, so which is good. This is very interesting because it's a very passion theme. Wine brings us that, and let's hear our speakers. Thank you.
Já terminaste?
Já.
Okay. Hi everyone, it's a pleasure to welcome you to this GWTO presentation in Portugal. Before introducing our guests, I must tell you, as President of the Portuguese Wine Tourism Association, that it is a pleasure to be delegated to the World Wine Tourism Organization that brings together some of the best wine tourism professionals in the world. Together, we will move towards making the wine tourism sector a world reference. And now, we go to the presentations. José António Vidal is the founder and current president of the Global Wine Tourism Organization, GWTO, and its academy, founded last year. Descendant of a pioneering family in wine tourism, he was also the founder 7 years ago of the Spanish Association of Wine Tourism, with the objective of providing the sector with a stable structure and leadership in the national and international markets. As executive chairman, he is responsible for strategic planning and communication and institutional relations. With academic background in law, economics, marketing, and well-being, he developed his professional career in Los Angeles, London, Cambridge, Paris, Cancun, Balearic Islands, and Madrid, occupying positions of responsibility in banking, hotel management, and institutional tourism. He was also an MBA professor in the discipline Service Quality for hotel companies. Entrepreneur, motivator, and optimist by nature, he intends to elevate the world of wine tourism to a level of high quality. I'm also present Carlos Vogeler, is a senior advisor to the Global Wine Tourism Organization and former executive director of the same organization. He was also strategic manager at the Ministry of Tourism of Oman, responsible for implementing the tourism strategy. In addition, he has held various management positions, Director of Southwestern Europe and Vice President of Global Account Strategy and Industry Relations at RICA, part of the Widom Hotel Group, one of the largest hospitality groups in the world. Deputy Executive Director of Pullman Tour, one of the largest Spanish tourism operators, professor at Rey Juan Carlos University of Madrid in the Department of Business Economics, where he teaches on tourism planning, structure and analysis, and hotel marketing. He is also the author of several university manuals on analysis, structure, and organization of tourism sector published in Spanish. And now, finally, without more delonging, I will give the word to José António Vidal.
Thank you very much, Maria João, Thank you to the Lusofona University for invitation to GWTO to make its presentation here with all of you. Well, it's a big pleasure to meet you for the first time, really. Welcome to the industry of happiness, because tourism, gastronomy, heritage, and wine are happiness. 2030 was the year in which I thought in an international association. In 2015 was created the Spanish Wine Tourism Association under the brand Wine Tourism Spain, as a previous step advised by international authorities. But the third UNWTO World Conference on Wine Tourism took place in Chisinau, Moldova in September 2018 was the inflection point. Our extremely executive opening keynote speech formed an international teamwork as seat of GWTO. But again, to create a global organization, it is essential to get the momentum right, that at least two circumstances converged: opportunity and need. Markets demand health security, and in response, businesses have to redefine strategic plans focusing upon inclusive and sustainable approaches for the citizens, while governments are cooperating more than ever with public-private, public-public, and private-private initiatives, taking into consideration the value of wine tourism role within the broader context of tourism development. But at this particular difficult stage, as we deal with the current health, economic, and climate change crisis, there is a need and an opportunity to redefine a new wine tourism paradigm. The new era for wine tourism will focus on adapting to a changing demand, considering market characteristics, size and segments, and the role to be played within the context of tourism development and networks. As I said, opportunity and need. To launch an entity of this type, a previous success story had to be provided, guaranteeing a project of such magnitude. This is the case of Spanish Wine Tourism Association, AEE. After 4.5 years of existence, the sector saw in 2019 an exponential growth reflected in a 20.5% economic impact increase, and income was over 80 million euros. And besides being timely, it had to be also necessary. And the need arose with the effects of COVID-19. COVID-19 has brought us states of humanitarian misfortune in terms of health and economy. However, this scenario offers us an opportunity for personal growth and for the transformation or creation of new strategies in the professional field. For this reason, in March 2020, just 15 months ago, when the first confinement began in Madrid, I took up the project in which I thought 7 years ago. The first 8-9 months of the station, building the main pillars to achieve a solid structure. And the last month, communication actions like this one. In this moment, without tourism really open, the opportunity focuses on communication branding and professionalization training to market soon, we hope. Regarding communication actions, for example, as a result of the binational twinning between the Portuguese and Spanish Wine Tourism Association, APENO, and AEE, GWTO will promote the creation and development on the Iberian wine tourist route, the longest wine tourist route between two countries within the UE borders. Beside Argentina's ImproTour and Chile's Cernatur, GWTO will promote, support, and publicize the creation of the world's longest wine tourist route, 1,300 kilometers, favoring the twinning between the Chilean and Argentinian regions of Coquimbo, San Juan, La Rioja, Catamarca, and Santiago del Estero. Oh, sorry, just a second, please. Within the cycle GWTO talks, the highest authorities of ministries of tourism of Argentina, Greece, Uruguay, and Portugal have participated in these roundtables organized by the GWTO within its Connecting Stakeholders initiative. GWTO as well led the respective roundtables on innovation in wine tourism organized by UCIL University from Peru and Maza University from Argentina. And regarding training, Carlos will talk to you later about GWTO. GWTO structure is made up by 40 professionals, international authorities in the respective fields of action. Each and everyone represent the professional experience accumulated throughout their lives. This means that each of them are a networking hub in itself, something that is fundamental for an organization like ours with a worldwide structure. We all feel as a team, united by the GWTO mission and objectives of a transversal sector as wine tourism is. A team that will also have the support of the National Academies of Gastronomy, thanks to the mediation of our honorary president, Rafael Anson. Thinking big is only possible with a team like ours is. But what GWTO is? It's a global wine tourism knowledge and business network comprising the GWTO Academy and memberships of entities from the whole value chain. Public administrations in the 3 levels, central government, regional, and local governments, DMOs, the private sector companies, and educational institutions. And which is our mission? To develop an inclusive and sustainable governance model with those residing within tourism destination as primary ambassadors, to be aligned with the United Nations 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development Goals framework. We can say GWTO is one of the most inclusive and sustainable tourism projects ever. But which is our objective? To enhance the socioeconomic development of wine tourist destinations, benefit the local population, providing comprehensive tools through academic research and specialized training programs through GWTO Academy, working in close collaboration with one another in promoting the respective brands and marketing of the products and services to succeed both at international and local levels. And what do we offer to the market, to the members? What privileges and benefits they have? Well, we have to talk in 3 levels. In the level of the public sector, governments, in the level of businesses, and in the level of academic institution. From governance respect, promote alliances for wine tourism with the member states and local governments. Meaningful and valuable mediator in influence, negotiation, and decision-making with national and regional governments, international organizations, and territorial entities. Enhance collaboration among public bodies, academic institutions, and private companies through knowledge sharing and best practices. Contribute to the awareness and positioning of wine tourism in the global markets, explaining its benefits in terms of contribution to the local economies. National and international collaboration in the design and development of proposals for the branding and promotion of the country brand of member states, regions, and destinations. And what about the private sector, the businesses? 3 areas: management, promotion, and commercialization. In the management area, serve as a meaningful and valuable mediator in influence, negotiations, and decision-making with national, regional, and local governments, international organizations, and territorial entities as well. Prescriber in the creation of national wine tourism associations in the member countries. Contribute to the knowledge and positioning of wine tourism in global markets in terms of contribution of benefits to local economies. Access to GWTO's Global Wine Tourism Economic Monitor, a market intelligence tool that analyzes the evolution of international markets, including trends, forecasting, and economic impact. A powerful communication channel between members, companies, public administrations, research and knowledge centers to reach consensus and share results, and provide highly specialized consulting services in various areas, such as product development and competitiveness, strategic planning, marketing, etc. In the promotion area for businesses, collaboration in the design and development of proposals for the promotion of companies' brands under eno, agri, and gastrotourism products and services. Promote networking through the organization and participation in global, national, and local events, such as conferences, congresses, seminars, symposiums, and forums. Active participation in promoting the benefits of wine tourism at leading events, fairs, and national and international forums, tourism, wine, and gastronomy fields. And an organization of farm trips for tourism professional, media, etc., to raise awareness and promote the interest in wine tourism. And commercialization. Application to GWTO's quality seal, a certificate of excellence that guarantees the highest quality standards to distinguish products, services, and wine destinations in their marketing strategies, as well as establish agreements with tourism intermediaries to coordinate the creation of a marketplace to assist members with expanding their businesses in the domestic and global markets. But to GWTO, the way to provide the sector with an informed structure lies in its comprehensive professionalization through wine tourism knowledge management. And in this point, I give the word to Carlos.
Thank you so much, José Antonio. Thank you, Arlindo and Maria Jo, for your presentations and introductions. I'm going to introduce to you the GWTO Academy. You're all scholars, and I think you will be interested in knowing a little bit what is it that GWTO Academy is about. It is, after all, the knowledge network of the Global Wine Tourism Organization, GWTO, that José Antonio has just described. It is, to a certain degree, the center of wine tourism knowledge, It has its own management structure that I will describe later. The GWTO Academy was established to provide knowledge in order to support the development of wine tourism. And we need to bear in mind that this development of wine tourism is going to happen in a new era that we are facing, where we need to deal with the current health and economic crisis. There is a clearly need to redefine a new wine tourism strategy. We need to adapt to the change in demand, and we need to be in line with the United Nations 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development Goals framework. The GWTO Academy is bringing a comprehensive vision on the sector's development and creating a collective academic voice and working together in order to share knowledge, know-how, and expertise based on sustainable and inclusive growth. The mission of the Academy is very simple. It's to promote, inspire, advise, and guarantee actions as part of this new global wine tourism, which is set out in the Declaration of the Future of Wine Tourism as a draft roadmap for inclusive corporate governance that involves local communities. And this involvement of local communities, we believe that it is particularly important because many of you that have done research and studies related to the development of tourism worldwide have observed that in some cases, there hasn't been enough integration of local communities in tourism development. And that has created, in many cases, some problems, confrontations, even the rejection of tourism development. So that's why it's so important to be inclusive so that the local communities find the benefit of tourism and contribute and participate in it. The objective of the Academy is basically to establish thoughtful leadership in wine tourism knowledge and policy creation, providing advice on an individual and collective basis to the GWTO members, which are very varied and that José Antonio has just described, that they go from governments at all levels, private sector and businesses, and academia. There is no doubt that in the current juncture that we are going through, we will need to restart tourism with a very innovative approach, and we will need to respond to the new trends of demand. The new tourist is going to be different to the previous one, you know that. The new tourists are more knowledgeable. That makes them more demanding. And they're not only looking at visiting places and enjoy their time, they want more. And this is what wine tourism can offer, because they want to absorb the culture. They want to get closer to the people. They want to share and live new experiences. And this is what offers an excellent opportunity to world wine tourism destinations, which are there to satisfy those needs. But obviously, and you know this well as scholars, wine tourism destinations need to prepare themselves properly to cater for that new and demanding tourist. They need to build the right experiences based on what the territory has to offer from a cultural and an environmental point of view. They need to be more sustainable and enhance the attractiveness of the magic of wine production and the storytelling which comes behind. In short, they need to be creative to be able to capture the interest of those premium tourists. Now, when we talk about experiences, we say we need to build experiences. Sometimes we have difficulties in making the difference between what is an activity and what is an experience. Examples of tourism activities: visiting places of interest, watching a cultural performance, participate or perform a certain sport or activity, participate in an informative guided tour of a place. All those are activities. But tourist experiences are bringing additional benefits to the activities. They bring additional benefits to the visitor, which are mainly emotions, and they also bring additional benefits to the supplier of those experiences, which are mainly economic values. Experiences, therefore, require additional efforts, such as creativity, planning, execution. We know that activities are fun, interesting, enjoyable, but experiences become fascinating, memorable, extraordinary. So that is the main difference. And this is something in which the GWTO Academy is going to work extensively to help members in developing this. Let's talk a little bit about the program of work of the GWTO Academy. The main fields of action are aiming to bring the academia closer to government policies and businesses. Try to break the gap that we all know, and I do have some experience as a university professor, and I've been in the private sector as well, and I have been in the United Nations system, in the World Tourism Organization. So I have the experience of all those fields, and I have observed firsthand the enormous gap between the academic world and the business world, and how they are giving the back to each other. So we need to break that gap between the theory and the practice, and develop these public-private academia partnerships. So the work of the GWTO Academy is mainly based on 4 fundamental pillars. The first one has to do with institutional development. Why are you sharing the organization chart? Okay. Let me see.
Just to give an idea to the audience of our organization global.
Okay, but that's not necessarily what I was going to talk about now. That I was going to talk about that at the end, but never mind. Okay. Institutional development is one of the 4 pillars. In terms of institutional development, basically, what are the main points of action? Offer a powerful communication channel between members, including companies, public administrations, research and knowledge centers, to reach a consensus and disseminate results. Highlight the educational aspects of policy projects of all member countries. Enhance the collaboration among public bodies, academic institutions, and companies by sharing knowledge. Create an environment that enhances the ability of governments and businesses to succeed as part of an inclusive governance framework. And we talk about governance very frequently, but we have, generally speaking, difficulties in applying the proper governance. Serve as a leading knowledge management intermediary in the process of influence, negotiations, and decision-making with national and regional governments, with international organizations, and also with territorial entities. And study, promote, develop, and assist in the establishment of models of best practices and inclusive governance and business initiatives for wine tourism destinations. That's the first pillar, the institutional part. Then we have the second one, which is the area of education and research. We all know that the proper wine tourism strategy at destinations is going to require that both public and private sector staff, the people who are involved, are qualified and they have the right competencies. Now, we all know that competencies is a number of things. It's knowledge, skills, abilities. So the GWTO Academy partners with all the academic institutions worldwide in order to deliver executive education and training on wine tourism and bring those competences to deliver the highest standards of services and experiences. Obviously, the first thing that we need to do is identify those required competencies for each type of professional position. And this is what the Academy with the academic institution with which the Academy will partner, will start doing. Secondly, they will have to identify the gaps which exist between the required and the real competencies. And finally, they will need to design the needed education and training plan for each particular group of people. So let's remind ourselves of the three components of what we understand as competency. The first component, knowledge. We know knowledge focuses on the understanding of concepts. It is the theoretical and not the practical. An individual may understand a topic or a tool or some textbook knowledge, but have no experience in applying it. For example, someone might have read hundreds of articles on health and nutrition, many of them in scientific journals, but that doesn't make that person qualified to dispense advice on nutrition. Skills, those we all know. Those are the capabilities developed through training or hands-on experience. This is what we acquire. These are practical application of the theoretical knowledge. I think we agree with that. And the abilities. Well, the abilities are often confused with the skills, but yet there is a subtle but very important difference between the two. The abilities are the innate traits or talents that a person brings to a task or situation. Many people can learn to negotiate, for example, with competence. They acquire the knowledge about it and they practice the skills that negotiation requires. But a few are brilliant enough as negotiators because they have the innate ability to persuade. So that is the ability and the difference with the skills. And this is how the GWTO Academy is going to start building its methodology of teaching that will also be complemented by rigorous research and analysis. So in this field of education, in this pillar of education and research, the Academy will provide leadership in cooperative research projects, defining products and service development, innovation, strategies. They will contribute to the creation and development of a comprehensive wine tourism training program. They will consider training in sustainability as well, very important nowadays, throughout the courses in a transversal way, focusing on good practices, on successful cases, and the exchange of experiences in sustainable tourism that may be useful to participants in order to adopt in their companies or the destinations. And when we talk about sustainability, let's not, again, as we usually do, refer only to environmental sustainability. Let's think always on the three dimensions of sustainability: the social, the economic, social, cultural, the economic, and the environmental. So another area is in this field is the preparation of academic reports on comparative wine tourism in collaboration with prestigious universities around the world, which will become members or are members of the organization. Promote the understanding of the wine tourism concept. This is important, and its specific applications in the local economic, environmental, and social-cultural development activities and initiatives that will contribute to strengthen the ties between the key stakeholders that participate in the process. And finally, in this field of education and research, study and validate international experience in wine tourism, including data analytics and the publication of case studies, books, and other scientific material. The third pillar of the program of work of the Academy is the business, the enterprise. In this respect, the Academy will contribute to organize and assist with the development of training courses to prepare students, employees, professionals, executives in the field of wine tourism business. Assist in the education, acquisition, and improvement of the professional capacity of the employees which are required in companies and organizations. Organize and participate in global, national, and local events such as conferences, congresses, seminars, symposium, forum, workplaces, marketplaces, and capacity building or training programs. and assist foreign and local tourist organizations in similar activities. Very important nowadays as well, offer assistance in the digital transformation of member companies and organizations and attract foreign investments for these purposes. Address issues and provide solutions through a theoretical and applied research tools, market intelligence, education, training, information, and innovation. And in this particular regard, I would like to highlight the GWTO's Economic Monitor, which is a regular report that is analyzing the evolution of the international markets, including market intelligence, trends, forecasting, and the economic impact of wine tourism in the destinations. And the fourth and final pillar, which José Antonio has also mentioned, is the quality seal, which will be a certificate of excellence that will ensure the highest quality standards to distinguish the academic institutions, the wine destinations, and the private companies. The GWTO Academy will identify the key standards that need to be met in order to obtain the certificate in excellence in providing the best services and experience. And this will be a marketing tool for whomever obtains this quality seal. Now, let me talk a little bit to finalize, and I don't want to bore you anymore with this, about the structure of the GWTO Academy. Who is who and who is going to do all that? So the first thing I would like to tell you is that we are very proud and privileged to have Dr. Coralie Allais as the director of the GWTO Academy. I told you earlier that the Academy, it's a unit within the GWTO that has its own management structure. Dr. Coralie Allais is an associate professor of the prestigious Strasbourg Business School in France. She has a solid experience in research and teaching on information systems, management, and entrepreneurship in the wine and tourism industries. She's also currently in charge of the Master of International Wine Management in Tourism, which actually she created, and also the Master in Tourism Management at the Strasbourg Business School in France, where she teaches. She's also the founder of the Corporate Chair in Wine and Tourism, and she has produced a good number of publications on wine tourism. Let me just refer to some of them. Very recently, in April this year, she has published a publication under the title Women Empowerment and Peer Support in the Wine Industry, Community and Resilience. And it's interesting because this publication covers how women entrepreneurs are increasingly entering the wine industry, evolving in this, we all know, traditionally masculine world. Whether they are winemakers, winery owners, cellar managers, or sommelier, this trend is noticeable in both the old world and the new world wine producing countries. And she just published an article on that. Another publication that she has recently done is the Chair in Wine Tourism Innovative Collaboration between Education, Research and Practice, which is something that I just spoke about, this gap between the theory and the practice that we need to break. It presents a very innovative collaboration based on education, research, and corporate partnerships to value and promote wine tourism at a national and international level. It takes the unique and specific case of the creation and development of the Chair in Wine Tourism at the Strasbourg Business School in the University of Strasbourg in France. She has actually made many other publications, and she will be heading our GWTO Academy. So we believe that the Academy is in the best hands possible. Coralie is also going to be assisted by Kerstin Bach. Kerstin is part of the international department at the Mannheim University in Germany, in charge of coordinating the Erasmus programs, and is an expert in cultural wine tourism. She is teaching also in the master's program in Strasbourg and has participated in many conferences of the Corporate Chair in Wine Tourism. She is a wine tourism guide, and she's a certified Kultur- und Weinbotschafter, in German, culture and wine ambassador. So additionally, the GWTO Academy counts with the very valuable support of the group of fellows, which are scholars, rectors, deans, doctors, professors, and master's degrees coordinators from leading universities and institutions of higher education, specialized in wine and agritourism intelligence, in gastronomy, intangible culture, destination management, and related fields. Each of these fellows act in their own name with no direct business interest on the wine or tourism industries. And this fact reinforces their objectivity and neutrality on the research that they will carry out for the Academy. Currently, the GWTO Academy fellows are based in various countries, in Argentina, Australia, Chile, China, France, Georgia, Germany, Greece, Italy, Mexico, New Zealand, Portugal, Russia, Slovakia, Slovenia, Spain, Switzerland, Turkey, United Kingdom, and the USA. So this gives an idea of the presence of the Academy worldwide. And we also have an advisory council with prestigious personalities in the field, such as Professor Paul Wagner from Napa Valley College, Culinary Institute of America in the University of California, Davis, Dr. Aurora Pedro, who is the Director of Tourism Green Transition Chair and full Professor of Applied Economics of the University of Valencia in Spain, and Joël Brouard, who is a UNESCO Chair, Culture and Wine Traditions at the University de Bourgogne, and also manager of the Terroir Consultancy. So as you can observe, we have an excellent group of scholars which are involved in the broad international representation arena. The GWTO Academy will also count with the work of all the 7 regional directors of the organization. We have 7 regional directors: Western Europe, Eastern Europe and Central Asia, Oceania, Africa, North America, China, and Latin America. And of course, she will count with us, with the corporate management of GWTO support. So this is what I wanted to share with you regarding the GWTO Academy. And of course, it goes without saying that we would very much welcome Portuguese academic institutions, and namely Universidade Lusófona, to join the organization and participate actively in this fascinating program of work of the GWTO Academy. Thank you.
Thank you, Carlos. It was a fantastic presentation, you and José Vidal. I would like to ask the people who are listening us if they want to have some questions. I have one, but I will ask people if they want to speak. Do you want to ask something to Carlos or to José António Vidal? Someone? No? Okay, so I want to ask you, Carlos, in practical terms, and it is very important for us because, as you know, in APENO, we are trying to dynamize as possible the wine tourism sector. So people ask us, when I talk about GWTO, what kind of activities, how can we change experiences from this team, this fantastic team we have in GWTO in wine tourism? What are you going to do? Are you going to do graduation in international wine tourism? Are you going to do workshops or to do some conference? What do you want? What do you think to do about wine tourism, international tourism, to change the experience?
Okay, thank you for the question, Maria Joao. I think it's a very good one. I think José Antonio can respond perhaps in more detail on what GWTO as a whole can do. Let me purely from the academic perspective tell you a number of things that can be done. First of all, the aim of the GWTO Academy is not to produce its own courses and to compete with its members. I mean, we want to have members from the academia joining the organization. Therefore, the academia wants to partner with them. The academia wants to carry out research, analysis, data collection, have an understanding of the contents that need to be brought to the courses, and partner with academic institutions in order to deliver those courses in a form of master's degree, in a form of a degree, in whatever shape and form the academic institution with whom we partner believes that can add value. The GWTO Academy is there as, let's say, a global observer, having access to all this information, having this network of people worldwide that will enrich the contents of the courses that we can deliver, that can carry out research to tell us the forecasting, to provide us with the economic monitor, to give us data. I mean, we cannot operate blindly. In order to implement proper strategies, we need to have market intelligence, and somebody needs to provide that. So the main objective of the GWTO Academy is to become that arm that can provide all that information and that can partner again with academic institutions in order to deliver whatever courses will be required, which might be very different in Portugal of what they will need in South Africa or they would need in Australia. But we can learn from each other's experiences, and the GWTO Academy can bring all that together.
Okay, so people can look for you and ask if you have some contacts in some area to ask them and change experience.
Correct.
Just like that. Okay, yes, okay.
And the objective of the GWTO organization is to develop the socioeconomic aspect in destination and residence. What, how, and what? Mainly through our area in MICE organization of events. We are working now in organize our first World Congress of World Tourism for next year. Yes, they are destination competing because several destinations are keen on organize this kind of events. And GWTO Talks is another promotion action, very important. We have started with public sector, but soon we start with private sector and mix it, private and public sector. So all these initiatives are very important for members.
You know, in Portugal, we are living a very fantastic movement because, you know, people want to learn more and they are getting more education. That's why when we put this post-graduation in Universidade Lusófona, it was fantastic because people was looking for. And as you say, and it's very important, and as Carlos was saying, we put the practical with the theory, you know, because it's very, very important to you know, harmonize these two sectors. Because the two sectors, no, sorry, the two things, because, you know, people have to know how to act when they receive people, you know. And in Portugal, as you know, we have good food, we have good wine, we have good people, very generous one, fantastic, and, you know, very, very, we are have the hospitality in our high point. But sometimes we don't have service, so it's very important to have some strategy to get there. And I think with this intercambio, the change of ideas, it's very, very important. Do you think it's going to happen some professional meeting around Zoom session, something like that, with other professionals? Perhaps it's a good idea, no?
Definitely, yeah. This is one of the networking has to be based on that. Has to be based in bringing people together, sharing best practices, understanding and learning from each other's experiences, and see what is applicable to your territory and what it's not. I think the beauty of wine tourism, and I do have, I mean, this is my first experience with wine tourism. You guys are much more experienced than I am on wine tourism, but I do have some experience in tourism, generally speaking, 40 years. And believe me, I think wine tourism is bringing one of the most attractive proposals, both for the visitor as well as for the host. Why? Because we are addressing the premium tourist, is what everybody now wants. We are trying to differentiate from the traditional massive tourism, and also very much aligned with the sustainability goals. So I think it addresses this new trend of demand, people that want to have more customized, more individual type of approach to their likes, to what they want to experience. And we have a challenge. Do we know how to do that? Do we know how to respond to that new trend of demand? Probably not sufficiently. We need to build that knowledge, skill, and ability, meaning that competency. We are going to need help. And that help can be obtained by sharing best practices, as I said, by trying to have as much information of market intelligence, understand our potential customer, which will be different from each other. We no longer can talk about the package tours, what everybody fits. We now need to customize the proposals. But there is a methodology for that, and we have tools for it. So we just need to be able to develop them and apply them. And the GWTO Academy has as an objective to do that.
I think, you know, APENO and the WTO have one thing in common, is that lots of things in common, but we're born in the pandemic times. So if we could do lots of things, I think we are going to do more and more. And I want to thank you. I don't know if anybody wants.
Ana Branco has her hand raised to make a
Okay, Ana Branco, por favor, dá-lhe a palavra.
Thank you. Congratulations, first of all, for this important initiative. And when I say it's important, it's very, very, very important. Everything that both of the responsibles of GWTO spoke about, it's so important as we discuss competences and the gap that we have between public administration and the private sector. I ask, and I think that in a few words, Carlos have answered some of my questions, so it's only one or two questions. How can we make benchmarking? Because more and more, the proposals that some people imagined from the south of Brazil that have SEABRE can talk with us and develop things in this kind of gap of competences, of skills and knowledge and abilities. How can we have this kind of benchmarking? How can we help the academy, can help the private sector and be a strong influencers to the public administration? I think that GWTO can help us to have some ideas and also to promote some different things that other countries have done and are good practices. So this kind of benchmarking is more and more one of the tools that we can have. It's not to analyze for the first time something that is wine tourism. Is more than a lifestyle, is a reality. And every single country in Europe have wine in a proper way. I don't know. How can we make that? Benchmarking in the MAIS, as José António talk in tourism area. How can we have that? Can we be fellows and have you as our support?
Definitely. I think you probably gave the answer, Anna, at the same time that you raised the question. I think what we need is to share information. And yes, one of the challenges is how do we involve and how do we make the public administrations understand and support? Well, there is one language, and I learned this during my years in the UN World Tourism Organization. We need to talk their language, their political language. And their political language is mainly economics, employment, and how this is going to contribute to the community inclusion. And wine tourism does all that. Wine tourism is bringing the right economics to the territory. Wine tourism will be creating proper and decent jobs. And wine tourism is going to contribute to the inclusion of the communities. And it's going to run away from the massive tourism that has had some negative experiences in destinations, such as we know the cases of Barcelona, Venice, Dubrovnik. And fortunately, we are dealing with a type of tourism that is very friendly with the territory, because what we want to do is to promote that territory, but very important, with the inclusion of the local communities. And the politicians understand that language. We just need to use that type of language with them so that they can listen to us.
And Anna, something important. You said this as well. Wine tourism is in everything. And all of us are wine tourism, agritourism. So we have to promote this emotional aspect to get into the minds of the market.
Yes, I agree. It's an emotional point, but is to develop local ideas with the public policies that we make the privates more happy in their life, because most of them need help nowadays. It's true. And wine tourism, without helping the wine sellers and the wine producers, it's not available.
That's it. Okay.
And we have lots of work to do.
I would like to add to finish probably this event. It's about the tourist guide, yes, because the basis for success lies in the figure of the wine tourist guide as the visible head of the good work of the entire organization. And the guide will effectively communicate details and emotions. If we don't know how to make visits and unforgettable experiences for wine tourists, there is no point in marketing and promotion. Not only is the business brand image damaged, but also that of the whole sector, with repercussions on the country's brand image. So put the attention in the wine tourist guide always.
Well, we have lots of work to do. lots of work, but we are here to work, so it's okay.
But it's good fun. It's fascinating work. So
Yes,
we're going to have
is.
good fun in doing it.
Yes, it is. As some friends of mine says, you don't work, Maria. You don't work. You're just having fun, you know.
You enjoy life.
Yes, I enjoy. Okay, Carlos and José, thank you very much for being here. It was very important, your testimony, okay? And we are here to work, as I said, and thank you also to share your experience. We are going to start talk. We are keeping touch, And I hope will be, I believe it will be a great project, and it contributes to the wine tourism growth. And I believe we are going to make the wine tourism a sector of reference. I think it is.
Muito obrigado, Maria Jo.
Okay.
We are looking forward to Universidade Lusófona joining the organization as a member.
Thank you very much, Carlos, for the invitation. Thank you very much, José. Maria, do not forget the photo, please.
Sorry, yes.
Thank you.
Vou pedir às pessoas que, por favor, quem estiver, para abrirem as câmaras para tirarmos uma fotografia conjunta. If we can take the picture, last picture, some people went away, but I think we have 28 participants. But if we have some people here, please, yes, open the cameras so we can take.
Oh, there are some students from Lusófona University. Oh, yeah. Hello.
Okay, so I don't know if you want to take the picture, Mafalda, or
Okay.
Linda. Linda is getting the commands of the situation.
Oh. How can I take it? How do I do it? I never took a picture of this.
No, you have your phone and you take.
No, print screen, and
That's an outstanding idea. Okay.
Keep
going to take it also, and if you need,
there you go. I found it. Galeria. That's it. Print screen. There you go. Thank you.
Yes.
Oh,
Okay.
Oh,
I don't
nice.
have a glass of wine, just a glass of water, so I will not show. Okay.
So.
Okay, já está?
Já está.
Muito obrigado.
Thank you, once more.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you very much.
GWTO Ambassador for Portugal. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Muito obrigado a todos.
See you soon. Thank you very much indeed.